Someone asked about how is it living in Portugal and what are the challenges? And well, I've been living here more than 6 years now, so I can answer that. Almost 7, wow. Like, it doesn't feel like so long because the pandemic has just done weird things to time. So, yeah, like, that's only like 3 years of like actual normal life. But hey, um, so the big challenge always when moving to a new country is just like social. Um, and I've moved to a new country 4 times now, so I have experience of that. I'm coming here. I thought I knew what to expect because when I moved to England, it was at first hard, and I had a really bad time for a few months, and then I found my way into a friend group, and like they're just great. Like we were just at each other's house every week playing board games, Dungeons and Dragons, just hanging out together, and yeah, like some of those people are still like regularly in my life, like yeah. So it's like it takes a while, and you find your place. And the same when I moved to Scotland, it was several months of like being a bit isolated, but it's pleasant because it's a nice place, and then found the right group, and then just in Germany it was a little. Yeah, I was only in Germany for a year, and it didn't really. I was really overworking, like crunching at the time. Um, so like it didn't really work out like that. But I know it's because I wasn't making an effort. I wasn't like trying to meet people. I was just like in a box, and but still it was time like getting familiar with the culture. And now after I've left, I have some really close friends in Germany, and I go there sometimes and stay with them. They come visit us. Yeah, so coming to Portugal, I expected like 6 months of and then but it took a lot longer, and yeah, even at this point it doesn't feel like I just have like an easy, just like easy close friends. Like I have a lot of people I know who I see when I go out, and which is like less now because like family and pandemic and everything. But I mean it's more like people are here. It's like people are acting like it's back to normal. Maybe it's back to normal. I don't know. But like yeah. So it feels like it sort of has taken 6 years to get to the point of like what took 6 months in an Anglo country, which is just like okay. I'm from Aotearoa, New Zealand. It's a colony. It was colonized by the British, so like yeah, there's that's what it is. But yeah, like, the confusing thing is that like it's really easy here to have people are really friendly. Like it's really easy to have like nice social interactions. You just like, go out and meet people and be like, hey, you're my new best friend, and it's just like cozy. But going from like we have a great connection with friends to like you're actually an integral part of my life as a step that seems really difficult. So like, if you're just here for a little bit, like it's actually great. Living here for years, it's like, I miss that, just like easy, just like going to each other's houses, sharing meals, like, yeah, and like a lot of the difference I've realised is just that the Portuguese are very close to their families, and you know, in England, the friends I was spending a lot of time with, they were living in a different city from their families. And they'd go see their families a few times a year, but they were like, they had space in their lives for a day-to-day community that was filled by friends. Whereas a lot of Portuguese people are seeing their family every week. Even if they live in a different part of the country, they're going back and forth a lot. And yeah, it's like they work in the city during the week, and then they're at their family farm or something in the weekend. So then the weekends are not free to like hang out. And yeah, it's nice for them. Yeah, I was talking to a Portuguese friend about this, and it's like, yeah, well, there's lots of other foreigners. You can maybe just be friends with them. Like, I mean, yeah. And like, yeah, there are a lot of foreigners, and like, it kind of feels weird to like move to a place and like just be like, but a lot of people do that. There's like the little like ethnic groups, like people from this country, just mostly interact with people from that country, even though they're in this wider country. And like, I mean, there's not a big New Zealand contingent here, so I can't do that the same way like Polish people or Croatian people can, which like, whatever. But I mean, there are a lot of English people, and like, I mean, so a lot of rich English people retire here and like don't learn the language and like just treat it as a like permanent holiday or something, and like they're not really my people. It's I mean, some of them are actually lovely. Like, it's, you know, people are people in any group of people. Like, it's not, you don't want to just like dismiss by a group, but yeah, like, I often don't, like, they often have attitudes that are just a bit grating for me, and yeah, like, you know, expats, they call themselves, and like, the word expat, it's like, if you spent your whole life being against immigration, and then you become an immigrant, like, there's cognitive dissonance, so you have to find a different word for it so that you don't, yeah, it's awkward. Yeah, so I mean, I the language, like, I'm not fluent in Portuguese yet. I've done courses and I've worked on it, but you know, when I talk to a Portuguese person, like, they understand what I'm saying most of the time. I have to ask them to slow down and repeat themselves a lot, but like I can get the gist of things, and often after a few minutes they're like, oh, you're not one of those people who come here and retire to the Algarve and just like never be here. And yeah, I'm trying not to be. It's actually challenging. Just it's like, yeah, people can tell that I've actually made an effort, but at the same time, they can tell that it would be easier to just switch into English because their English is better than my Portuguese, and so they just switch. Like sometimes I like ask them, please can we actually just speak Portuguese, because to actually get better at it, I need the practice of just like day to day, and like then they kind of like get it intellectually, but like it's the habit of just like they're really, it's hard to like go against it because it's coming from such a caring place. It's really a culture of like learning other people's languages, learning the ways to be able to accommodate them, and so they feel good that they know my language, so they can help and just speak my language, and I don't have to like, which like as yeah, it's like as long as I am not that much practicing the language, I'm not going to get good enough at it for them to just be comfortable talking to me in their native language, and like that's always going to be a social barrier. So yeah, that's a challenge. But you know, just like over time, just being here, reading things, listening to music, like you just gradually the mind tunes to it. It's not as quickly as a child does. My children are like often correcting me now, which is great. Like, so I have that yeah, like the people who learn best when they like have a family relationship with someone who speaks the language, and yeah, like often that's by like marrying someone, but like having a child who's Portuguese, like yeah, it's probably going to work the same in the long run. Yeah, so that's coming along. It's slower than, I mean, pandemic, right? Like, I'm not at the level I'd expect I should be at after 6 years, but you gotta make allowances for that. Yeah, like, so I'm in the city. The cities in Lisbon. Yeah, so even if I don't have like the like absolute close knit friend group thing, like it's easy to be social. There's always stuff going on. You can go out. Like, yeah, I know people who've moved to the countryside because like land is fairly cheap. Then like, oh, we can just get out of the place, and like a lot of them then moved to the city because it was just so lonely. So yeah, like there's probably like some communities in the countryside that like are working, but like basically you have to be with those people you can be with. Yeah, when we came here, the cost of living was really low, and that was nice because like I'm not earning a lot of money, and it would go a bit further here than it did other places. Certainly more than in New Zealand, which is just like these days. But yeah, and that's what a lot of the people who retire here are getting out of it. So like they've saved up like a lot of money, but then here it becomes even a bigger lot. But like that's not even, I mean, like our rent is now double what it was for the same size. The cost of a lot of food items has doubled. Cheese is more than double. Like, yeah, It's probably, like, in the countryside it's probably still a lot cheaper, but it's not even, like, Lisbon's become such a major tourist destination, and it's just, like, it's terrible. Like, yeah, it's really hurt the life of the city a lot that there's just tourists everywhere. I saw some graffiti a little while ago that said, refugees welcome, tourists go home, digital nomads fuck off. And, like, yeah, there's a lot of anti-tourist sentiment. It's, yeah, like when I moved here, like, it's just such an alive city. You just go walking out in the city centre and, like, you find a band playing, or like a little festival in the streets, and like somewhere to buy African books, or it's like, it's awesome. And yeah, and over the last 6 years, like, a lot of people I know who are living and working in the city centre, they've had to move further out because everything's just gone more expensive. There were, like, cool venues in the city centre. There was a place, Special Bayou, where, like, you go off the main street and you go up this little side street, and then there's this, like, little narrow stairs. You go up the little narrow stairs and there's a bar up there, and, like, a little plot of land with chickens, and it's just like, so right next to the city centre, there's just, like, this little kind of farm, and then you go up the stairs from the farm and there's this old gymnasium that's, like, there's a big swimming pool that's empty, and, like, the bathrooms are the changing rooms for the swimming pool, and there's a gym hall which has been turned into a dance hall, and it's just like, and there's, like, always stuff happening there, and it's just so lovely. And, like, then they just had to move, and, like, their new place is like, also nice, but, like, there was something else happening in that place, and the people in there then moved further out, and it's just like everything's being, yeah. And now you go to the city centre, and it's not like concert parties and bands and stuff, it's just like tourists. You just, like, everywhere you go there's a group of tourists, and there's, like, a tour guide in front of them, like, this building here is where, like, in the past, like, stuff happened that was interesting, but now it's just for tourists to look at, and here you are. Yeah, it's really sad. Like, it's really, and yeah, I was in Marvila recently, which is an area where, like, it's still alive. A lot of stuff moved there, and there's this big billboard that said, like, Marvila Collection, the trendiest new pub town. It's, like, super corporate, like, imagery, and it's just like, whoa, it's like a threat. It's like, we did this to the city centre, and now we're coming for you out here, you know? Yeah, it's like, if you're an individual, like, you've done the tourist thing, you come here, like, don't feel bad about that. Like, it's nice. It's nice to see. I often, like, just out on the street, I see people I know from another country because everyone comes here. It's so weird. Oh yeah, it's not something to take blame for on an individual level. It's corporate, but yeah, it's not all downsides. Like, I mean, for example, it's easier to find vegan food now. Like, I'm not vegan, but, like, I think it's good if there's vegan food, and because of all the tourists, like, that's in the city centre you can find vegan food. Like, that's what it is. And there's still life in the city. Like, every Sunday in one of the main streets, it's Forró Liberdade. It's just, like, a Brazilian dancing party in the middle of the street, and just, like, yeah, people dance, and, like, people walk past and stop and watch, and, like, sometimes it's just like, it's this lovely sunny Sunday afternoon vibe, and it's just like, yeah, I love it. And yeah, the city's still alive, but yeah, it's suffering, and, like, some of the went up to one of the viewpoints that used to be this beautiful view across the river, and only like beautiful old buildings with roofs all the same colour, so it's just the absolute scenic view. And now there's just towers in the way. You can't even see the river. It's like, yeah, it's hard. But I mean, it's a good country though. Like it's one of the top countries in the world for LGBT rights, and like you can really feel it. Like you just go on the metro and you see like a same-sex couple holding hands, and they're just completely relaxed, and you can just see from their absolute like naturalness that they're not in an environment where they're facing harassment. They're just living their lives. It's not this like, yeah, there's not the resistance of like fighting against oppression. Like it's just like it's not any different from a heterosexual couple. It's just two people being close, and yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, it's what else? It's funny, like so it's like it's a Catholic, like conservative, traditional country in some ways, and like I don't always know what to expect, because like the LGBT rights is just like what I would think of as being at odds with that, but it's just like fine. Whereas like, I know like some of the people I know who like moved to the countryside, like they had the police coming to them because they'd been like sunbathing naked, and the neighbours on the next hill miles away had called the police because like people were being naked outdoors. And I was just like, what the heck? like they're not even close. Like they'd have to be really been looking and like, oh look, and like if just find your own business. And yeah, like yeah. Because like coming here, I would have expected, like it's right next to Spain. It's like there is some historical, cultural similarity. So I'd expect, like in Spain, you go to the beach, it's like lots of people are naked going to the sea. Like I'd expect there'd be that sort of. I mean, okay, Spain's a huge country, so it's probably like completely different in lots of it. So it's like I don't even know what Spain is. I just like been to a little bit of it, but I would sort of expect that, but here it's like nudity. No. I mean, yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's like, just like out in the neighborhood, sometimes people will just like stop me and just like aggressively like, you're just like about random things, like you're not wearing shoes, or you're wearing the wrong kind of shoes, or like your baby is like not wearing a hat even though it's a warm sunny day. Like it's like random stuff. People are just like, you should be doing this way about, and it's just like, mind your own business. But like, I don't know, it took me a long time to realize that there's no, it's annoying, like can't get past that, it's annoying, but there's no ill intent in it. They're, in their way, they're trying to help. And like being from New Zealand, like I'm used to street harassment, like just crossing the road and people will shout at you, like because I used to have long hair, and it's like, you have long hair, that's feminine or something, like your clothes are too colourful, like you have a beard. I noticed like people just like in New Zealand this is in New Zealand, and like it's aggressive, and there's always like a threat of violence there, and like yeah, like I'm glad to be out of that. It's like I'm sure it's grown in the time I've been away, and like it might be completely different now. But yeah, I encountered violence there, and that sucked. And so here, when people are confronting me on the street about my footwear or something, I was reacting from that conditioning that like someone's confronted me. I have to navigate this situation so carefully, or they're going to beat me up, or like something. I mean, like I'm bigger and stronger now, so that I might be able to handle myself more than I could when I was a kid. But still, I don't want to get in a fight, and it's never like I was reacting like cautious defensive, like they were wanting a fight, and they never wanted a fight actually. Like even there's this very low risk of violence here, and even when I've had confrontations with police and security guards, like they're not. They really want to de-escalate. Like they're not going to resort to violence, except like I don't know. There's probably some condition in which they'll resort to violence, but it's not what I expect from UK and New Zealand. It's yeah. There was. The country was under a dictatorship until sometime in the 70s, and so still a lot of people are alive who are under that, and there's a lot of like people are proud of their revolution, and like rightly so. It's yeah, like the story of the revolution is really nice. It's I probably look it up. It's nice. But yeah, so I think there's a reluctance of the authorities to use violence or to go too far, and it's nice. Yeah, when there were the COVID lockdowns and stuff, there was like discussion about like what if we don't let people see their families at Christmas, then people will complain that we're bringing back the dictatorship. So like, yeah, there's just like a very real awareness in government of the power of the people, and respect that. They're like that in the COVID situation. That was not necessarily the best outcome because then everyone got COVID at Christmas, but it's good and healthy that the country has the awareness that if the government oversteps, then the people will just say no. That's yeah. Yeah, like this whole area in the summer was closed because of a fire risk or something, and like people were still here because like that's the rule, but like it's dumb. There were less people. Like on the whole, people are going to respect a rule, but like the more ridiculous it gets, the more likely they're just collectively going to not. And yeah, that's yeah. There's some. In some ways, it feels like social trends are like just a bit, because of that history of being under the oppression so recently, like it feels like things have just been a bit slower to move here. But then like the like I said, the LGBT rights are one of the best in the world, and now with the tourists, like vegan availability is quite good, at least in the city. And yeah, so it's moving. But if, for example, like we had children here, and in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and in the UK, like most of the people I know my age who are having children are planning a home birth, and often planned home births end up in hospital, but like, it's just really the trend to aim to have children at home. And here it's just like not, like maybe that's just like it's sometimes hard to tell the difference between what's a trend that's moving, like, and that here is just like at an earlier point on the trend, and what's like just a cultural choice that's I've always valid. But with that, I feel like, because there was like a lot of progress in medicine around childbirth to like make it a lot safer, and so we moved from that to a period of like it being heavily medicalized, and now we're moving to like applying the medicine like when it helps, but allowing the more relaxed natural process when it's not necessary. So like having the availability, but not being like used every time. And so it, like it has that has been the linear progress in where I'm from. And so like here they're at an earlier point on that progress. So it was surprising. Like home birth is almost unheard of. I mean, we did it. It works, but yeah, you go into register the baby and like we had it at home, and it's like they've never heard of it. It's even though like their grandmothers were doing it. It's yeah. But yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, that's great. Like there is a relaxedness here. Like if you have a like appointment for something, like you're not expected to show up on time. Like there's like half an hour tolerance or more. And it means if you show up on time, you're waiting for half an hour because the previous person was half an hour late. But yeah, and that's annoying. Like it's good, but it's annoying. You know, it's for whenever you have to do like bureaucracy for something, you just have to really allocate like a day to it, because like you'll go in the morning and get it's called senior, little pieces of paper with a number on them, and you wait for the number to come up on the screen. And like when we were first here, like going to get our visas and stuff, you wait for like 5 hours for your senior to come up, and then you go to the office and you show them all your papers, and they say, oh, but what about this paper, which we've never mentioned before? Come back next week with this paper. And next week you come back and wait 4 hours, and then they give you it. And seriously, every time we were renewing the visas, there was a new piece of paper that was required that wasn't required last time, and it felt like it was just to impose a bureaucratic requirement. Like they just like to see us twice, just to feel like they were doing bureaucracy well. And like it's gotten, since the pandemic, that's gotten better, because like they didn't want a closed space with like 200 people waiting for 6 hours. And so it actually works a lot smoother. You only have to go once, and you're only waiting for 45 minutes. But it's hard to get appointments, so well, like, yeah, sometimes, some parts of the time here I've not had a visa covering the time, because like when one was coming to expire and I get the appointment for the next one, there's this like a 3-month gap between when the visa expires and when I have the appointment to get the next one. And like, cool, like they don't mind, like when they give me the visa that covers the time to cover the gap, so I was legally here. But one time I ended up in a prison in Spain because I had the audacity to travel when my visa situation was not weird. No, that's a story. But yeah, it's like in that gap you're just like locked in the country, because like the rest of Europe is just going to go, what the hell, you don't have a visa. And Portugal's like, it's it's very chill. Like it's like they're kind of strict about the bureaucracy, but just like for the fun of doing the bureaucracy, not because like they mind if you're not fully like, yeah, legally approved at all points or something. You know, but yeah, I mean, like, apparently there's some corruption here, and like possibly at some points where the bureaucracy is being slow, like if I knew how to bribe the right people, it would speed up. I don't know. Like, like, sorry, like, if you're Portuguese and that's very offensive to you, then like, sorry, like, I haven't personally experienced corruption, because like I don't know how to do that, but like I have heard that it is still a thing, and yeah, there are some things like some friends bought some land that they were planning to like build a little house on, something they found out that they couldn't build a house on it because it was a protected area and you couldn't build on it. The land next to this, someone was building a house on, but like that person was like a relative of the mayor or something, and like money, and like even though in the area it wasn't allowed to build, like if you're you can get, yeah, you can manage to do it if you like do something sneaky. And yeah, there's I was talking to a friend who lives in a national park that's like lovely protected area, beautiful old forest, mountains, life, and we were driving past a fence, and she said like, this fence, like someone's bought this land, they're not supposed to own this land because it's a national park, but someone's bought this land and now there's a fence here, and all the animals that live on the other side, there's water down there, and the animals are like gathering at the fence and they can't get to the water, so this like, it's a protected national forest, and someone's like, I guess through bribery and corruption, like illegally, but somehow like managed to buy the land and fence it off. But like they fence it off, but they're not allowed to do anything on it. They're not allowed to develop or build on it. But like obviously, in a few years down the line, suddenly there'll be something built on it, and I feel like, oh yeah, that like, oops, like, yeah, like the legal protections are great. On paper, like it's like there's great environmental protections, and just like in practice somehow they can be sidestepped. And yeah, so that's I mean, it's relates to my life as far as I like going to that forest and like we might lose it, but it's not it's not my it's not a personal day-to-day challenge for me. Um, yeah. Um, okay. Thanks for listening if you've listened. Um,